The man who followed me wore latex gloves, but when I turned to face him, his hands were bare. That was the first impossible thing. The second was that my brother's voicemail, the one I'd left him before I got on the bus, said, "Call me when you're safe." But my phone log showed I'd never actually dialed. I'm a grad student at Columbia. I live alone in a walk-up on 109th. That night, I'd stayed late at the library, something about a thesis draft I hated. The bus came at 11:47, almost empty. I sat near the driver facing forward, and I didn't notice the man until he was already sitting across the aisle. He wasn't looking at me. He was looking at his hands. He was wearing a gray jacket, a beanie pulled low, and his fingers, white and long, were inside those cheap medical gloves. He flexed them, like he was checking for cracks. I looked away. The bus rattled. I texted my brother Sam. "On the bus, almost home." He replied, "I'll meet you at the corner." I didn't ask why. I just felt better knowing he'd be there. The bus stopped at 116th. The man stood up. He walked past me, close enough that I smelled something like antiseptic and sweat, and got off. I watched him disappear into the dark. Then I saw him standing on the sidewalk, not moving, just watching the bus pull away. I thought, that's weird, but he's gone. Then the bus stopped again. The doors opened, and he was there, on the next stop, climbing on as if he'd never left. The driver didn't seem to notice. The man sat down in the same seat across from me. He looked at his hands again, and this time, the gloves were gone. His bare fingers were raw, red, like he'd been scrubbing them for hours. He turned his head and smiled. "You left your phone," he said. His voice was calm, almost kind. I checked my purse. My phone was there. I looked up. He was holding a phone, my phone, in his bare hand. It was the same case, the same crack in the corner, but I had mine. I held it up. He looked at it, then at the one he held. His smile widened. "Guess we both have one," he said. He put it in his pocket. I pulled the stop cord 3 blocks early. I didn't wait for the bus to fully halt. I just got up and walked to the doors. He didn't follow. I jumped off and ran toward the liquor store on the corner, where the light was bright. I called Sam. He picked up on the first ring. "Where are you?" I said, breathless. "On my way, 5 minutes, stay where you are." I waited inside the store's glow. The man didn't appear. I saw the bus pull away and he wasn't on it. I let out a breath. Then I heard footsteps behind me. I turned. He was standing 3 feet away, no gloves, hands empty, but his pockets bulged. He wasn't panting. He hadn't run. He just appeared. "I love you," he said. "You know that, right?" I backed into the glass of the store. My heart was a jackhammer. He took a step forward. "Don't scream. I just want to talk." He raised his bare hands, palms up, showing nothing. But the latex gloves were in his pocket. I could see them peeking out. He said, "Your brother isn't coming. He's not even in the city." I called Sam again. It rang. He picked up, but the voice on the other end was low and slow. "I'm here. I'm outside." I looked around. The street was empty. No Sam. Then the man pointed to his ear, as if he were listening to the same call. He said, "That's me. I've always been your brother. You just forgot." I ran. I didn't wait for anything. I sprinted down the block, into a narrow alley, then out onto a side street. I stopped at a parked car, used it for cover, and looked back. The man was walking, not running, but he was closing the gap. His bare hands were now inside the gloves. I saw him pull them on as he walked. He was humming. I ducked behind a dumpster. I dialed Sam again. This time, the call connected to his actual number, the one I'd saved years ago. It rang once. He answered, and I heard his real voice, groggy. "Hey, what's up? It's 2 a.m. "Sam, come get me. I gave him the cross streets. He said he'd be there in 10. The man had stopped walking. He was standing at the mouth of the alley, watching me behind the dumpster. He held up my phone, the one he'd taken, and showed me the screen. It was a photo of me sleeping, a photo I'd never taken. "I was there last night," he said. "In your room. You didn't feel a thing." I looked at my own phone. The call log showed a call to Sam at 2:03 a.m., the exact time I'd just called him. But the log also showed a call at 1:02 a.m. to the same number, lasting 47 seconds. I didn't remember that call. I pressed the voicemail icon. There was one message from my own number sent to myself at 1:15 a.m. I played it. "Don't go to the library tonight. If you do, you'll meet him again, and this time, he won't let you leave." I didn't leave that message. I didn't know my own voice could sound so terrified. The man took a step closer. He pulled off the gloves one by one and stuffed them into his pockets. Then he reached into his jacket and pulled out a photograph, a Polaroid. He held it up for me to see. It was me, standing in front of the liquor store, but the timestamp said 2:04 a.m., and in the photo I was smiling, my arm around his shoulder. "I didn't remember ever taking that picture," he said. "We've done this before, many times. You just keep forgetting. Every time you call your brother, you reset, but I always find you." My phone buzzed. Sam texted, "I'm here, turning onto your street." I looked up and saw a car's headlights rounding the corner, but the man didn't move. He just watched the car approach, and when it stopped, Sam jumped out. He ran toward me. The man turned, walked to the opposite corner, and vanished into the dark, not running, just stepping out of the light as if he'd never been there. Sam grabbed me. "Are you okay? What happened?" I pointed at the corner. He was right there. He had my phone. Sam looked at my phone. I held it up. He frowned. "Your phone's dead. It's been dead all night. I've been trying to call you. You didn't answer." I looked at the screen. It was black. Dead. I pressed the power button. Nothing. But I could still hear the voicemail playing in my head. And I remembered the man had my phone. My real phone. The one in my hand. I'd never owned it. I looked at Sam's car. In the back seat, on the floor, I saw a pair of latex gloves crumpled. Sam followed my gaze. He said, "Those are mine. I keep them for work." He's a janitor at a hospital, but he'd never told me that. I backed away. I looked at his hands, bare, clean. "Sam," I said, "where were you an hour ago?" He smiled, the same smile from the man. "I was here. I've always been here." And I saw that his jacket was gray, his beanie was low, and his eyes, those weren't Sam's eyes, they were the man's. I didn't scream. I just ran. I didn't stop until the sun rose. Now I'm in a diner on the Upper East Side watching the door. The waitress keeps bringing me coffee I didn't order, and on the napkin in handwriting that matches my own is a note. "Don't go home, he's waiting, and this time he's wearing your face." I look at the napkin. I look at my reflection in the window. My reflection is smiling. I'm not.